So, the other day I had watched Nimona, and wow, it is probably one of Blue Sky's best, if not one of their greatest films yet. And it's crazy to say that this is their last film because Disney has been bought out by them and shut the animation studio down. And I'm just glad this movie was able to come out because the fact that Disney had shut it down 75% into production is just insane to me. Just because of this queer relationship, and it's just insane to me. But oh my god, Nimona just surprised everyone. I was walking in with like, okay, this is gonna be good expectations, but they were exceeded, especially with this movie. And today we're gonna be talking about everything I think about this movie. Man, I was really surprised, and you guys need to watch this movie. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into this video. So as you've heard probably years ago, Blue Sky Studios has been, disbanded as a company. Because Disney had bought them out and, canceled all their upcoming animated projects. Except for Buck Wild, that one was just horrible. And coming up was Nimona, which was 75% done. It was based off of a graphic novel. A lot of people were excited for it, and they just said, no, we're done with this movie. All because of a queer relationship. And it just gets me so pissed for what Disney does later in their movies, and you're telling me you could do that, but you can't do this. So, all because of a queer relationship, just because they just didn't like it, and they canceled the movie immediately. So, a 75% movie was just floating up in the air, and Blue Sky was kind of done. Some of their animators were trying to find jobs, and thank God, Annapurna Pictures decided to take over the project with some animators from Blue Sky. You know, Annapurna Pictures. The same company that made, yeah. We don't talk about it. But regardless, the team behind it was determined to get this movie done, and the animation for this movie just looks stunning. The animation studio that did this is still trying to take that stylized animation, but it's not going for that Spider-Verse look. But you could tell the animation is not your typical animated 3D animated movie. It has a lot more personality to it, and I really like that about this movie. And Blue Sky, obviously, when they bring a movie based off of a graphic novel, they do really great. They're kind of like DreamWorks. When they take a movie based off of an already established book, they make the movie look amazing, and that's exactly what they did with this movie. And the fact that it was able to come to the light of day is just, I'm so happy for it. And then eventually it was picked up by Netflix, and we have the movie we have today. And boy, were the results just amazing. I really love this movie, and it's already the most watched animated film on Netflix. Already, not even after 24 hours of the movie releasing. I watched it twice in the same day, one for my just general reaction, second time for my thoughts to gather up for this video. And it was back to back, they were just both great. Man, I was not expecting this movie to just be that good. And first of all, let's just get in with the movie itself. One thing I'll say this movie did really well was its pacing. I'll be real with you, this movie felt like 2 hours, but it was shorter than I had previously thought. The movie's runtime is about 1 hour, 40 minutes, but the movie really doesn't end. The movie really ends around its 1 hour and 30 minute mark. I kid you not, this movie felt like 2 hours. That's a good thing. The pacing on this movie was really good. I really didn't know where the plot was going. Some people will know if they've read the books, but if you're a newcomer like me, I did not know where the story was going. And also take this review with a mindset of someone that's a newcomer to these books. So I know there's some people in the comments that have read these books and like, oh yeah, I expected this to happen, I expected this, blah blah blah. I get that, but this is just a newcomer review. If you have different thoughts on the movie, just let me know down in the comments on what you thought of it. But regarding that, the pacing in this world just looked amazing. I really like the medieval and futuristic city. It's a really nice idea, and all the characters are really cool in design. Obviously you got Nimona. She's a shapeshifter. She can shapeshift into all these animals. They got into her lore a lot. You got the main driving plot of how Ambrosius is framed for the murder of the queen. when he was about to be crowned knight. And that's kind of the driving plot. He's framed as a murderer, and Nimona comes along thinking he's a villain, and Nimona can relate with that, being framed as a monster or a murderer and everything like that. And then the movie progresses from there. We go to a lot of locations. I really do like the characters we meet, and Nimona herself is just crazy, and I love it. Her personality really lights up the movie, and her voice actor did a really great job. She just melted into the role. And honestly, when I looked at the casting, the only previous movie I've seen her in was that Tom and Jerry movie that came out like 2 years ago. And then I was like, wait, that's her? Her voice acting is like phenomenal. And that doesn't just stand for her. The rest of the cast did a phenomenal job on this movie regarding voice acting. It all came together as like a perfect cake that was being baked. The movie started production in 2015, almost 10 years ago. So this movie was in production for a while. And going on with that, we obviously have to see how the story progresses, and the pacing, like I said, it's really, really great. And I can feel all families could, get with this movie and just enjoy it. And now let's get on to that queer relationship. The reason this was mostly canceled was because of that gay relationship. And the fact that it was canceled because of that reason is very hypocritical, because of what Disney would soon follow a few years later. We have, obviously, Onward, a reference to a lesbian relationship. You got Lightyear also coming out, another reference, well, very clear reference to a lesbian relationship. And then you got Strange World, which is completely obvious that it's a gay relationship. And you're telling me you let that happen, which was perfectly fine, but you cancel Nimona, where it's very vaguely hinted in the beginning and doesn't really pick up till the end of the movie. You're telling me that was a problem? It's just so hypocritical that they allowed that with Strange World, Lightyear, and Onward. But with Nimona, they're like, nope, you can't do this. And I guarantee you, with the animation and just how the movie turned out, this needed to be seen in theaters. And man, I wish I had the opportunity to see it in theaters. Some people were. I'm happy for y'all if y'all were able to see it in theaters. I know there was very few screenings around the US and just the world in general. So if you guys got to see it on that big screen, I envy you, but I'm also happy you got the premium experience of this movie, because the animation is just stunning. And I really came to like all these characters like very fast, and it was just the fact that Disney fumbled the ball on this movie big time. I kid you not, if it released in theaters, it would have been a hit. Its animation looks great, story's great, everything about it was just great. I kid you not, this is probably Blue Sky's best film yet. And it's sad to see the studio go, but they definitely went out with a bang. And before I get into more about Nimona, we have another special guest today to give her thoughts on the movie. So, we have Carrietootired today. Make sure to go check out her channel. She has great videos. Go make sure to go check them out, and let's see what she thinks about Nimona.
Hey guys, it's Carrietootired, and I'm here with some thoughts. I went into Nimona pretty excited since I read the webcomic back in 2014, and after seeing it, I have to say I love the movie's version of the story. Visually, this movie is very pleasing to look at. I love how all the characters and sets have these geometric details in them. Especially the eye shines, they're so pretty. Plus, it's cool how even visually, Nimona's rounder appearance is very other-like, which fits in with the themes of otherness and social segregation really well.
What is she?
And speaking of themes, I love how explicit Nimona is with its queer characters, relationships, and narrative. The whole movie's progression hinges on Bao and Ambrosius's relationship, and it's really refreshing to see an established couple profess their love for one another throughout the entire movie rather than exclusively at the end.
You admit it!
Stop!
You're in danger,
Why
Bao!
can't you just leave me alone?
Because I love you.
Also, Nimona and Bao's relationship really brings home the themes of love, acceptance, and unlearning the prejudice society has taught you. This hug between them is so good. Ugh, so many tears. Anyways, if you like a sweet, high-energy movie with fun visuals and lovable characters, then please check out and support Nimona. And thank you for having me, Chilly.
Thank you, Carrietootired. Make sure to go check out her content. She is an amazing creator. Like, I'm serious. Why does she have only 1,000 subscribers? This is top tier quality content. Why aren't you subscribed? And now with that, let's get on with the rest of this review. So, later in the movie, this part really caught me off guard. And by the way, just to let you know, we are getting into spoilers, but this part really caught me off guard. So, towards the middle of the movie, I thought we were getting towards the end, but it is revealed that the director is actually the person that framed Ballister. And I was actually shocked at this. I didn't actually see this coming. She really didn't give off an effect that she was gonna be, she did that, something like that to Ballister. And then as the plot progresses, we get to this moment I was not expecting. So Ambrosius walks into the director's room after that whole fiasco with Nimona and asks her what's going on. And the director straight up says it, that she framed Ballister and killed the queen, and straight up stabs Ambrosius. We'll get to that later. After that, I really thought he was dead, but then I noticed something was off. He was being a little too dramatic. And then, what I was not expecting was that really was just Nimona, and was really just trying to play on the director, trying to get her to say that, and she did. So that was really crazy, and I was not expecting it. One, I knew Nimona could shapeshift into anyone, but that was really smart for them to do that. And then, honestly, after they had really caught her in 4K for what had happened, I honestly thought the movie was over. And then, I was pausing the movie, just, get some more snacks. I realized there's 40 more minutes left in the movie. And then, as soon as I saw that, my heart sunk. I was like, wait, what else is there? There's like almost an hour left in this movie. This movie should at least have like 15 more minutes left. And I wasn't the only one. A lot of people, once they saw this moment, thought the movie was over, and that was it. But nope, there is a lot more to this movie than we thought. So, after this happens, the director decides to say that, no, this is a fake. This is Nimona shape-shifting as her, and saying all this other stuff, and basically tries to get the entire city to start turning on each other, saying that Nimona could be anyone. And just as the director is about to get arrested, the director decides to pull up a scroll of Nimona from like 1,000 years ago. And oh my god, this backstory where this goes is... Okay, let's just get into it. So, Ballister brings this note to Nimona. He explains, like, what is this? What is all of this? And Nimona knows exactly what this is. And it all goes downhill from this. So we go to a flashback scene where, this really just... Continuing, it's a really heartfelt story of how Nimona really met her first friend. Honestly, her name was Glorith, right. And they really got a close bond to each other. This was about 1,000 years ago. And as soon as the town realizes she can shapeshift and they start crowding around her, basically so fearful of her, after that whole fiasco and Glorith's parents watching, she actually picks up the sword. This moment really pissed me off. Like, I actually want to hit Glorith right now. The fact that happened was just insane. And then after that, the movie just went bonkers after that. Nimona turns into this giant kaiju going towards the city, and oh my god, this is when the movie started to really turn it up to 100. I was not expecting this. And it really, this part specifically, when Nimona in her monster form eventually gets up to the Sword of Glorith, there was a quote that I had left out that Nimona had said earlier about how she doesn't know what's scarier about how all the people in the city want to put a sword through her, or she just wants to let him. And that scene, that one sentence hurt me really badly, and I was like, no, don't tell me they're doing this. And yeah, she literally almost offs herself because of she basically gave up. And this whole scene right here just hit me. It hit me so hard. I was like, okay. As soon as I saw this scene, I knew this movie was something else. And man, this was when the tears were starting to water up. And like Carrietootired had said before, that hug scene really hit me hard, and it just keeps... Okay, I will say one thing. The finale started to pick up a little too fast, but it was still emotional regardless. So the director is not taking anything from the rest of the city, because the city is like, okay, Nimona isn't really much of a threat anymore. And the director's like, nope, we're using this cannon. I really don't care if there's any civilians in the city. We're taking her out one way or another. And Nimona turns into this giant phoenix, which is foreshadowed at the beginning of the movie, and takes out the director, also sacrificing herself. And honestly, since I haven't read the books, I honestly didn't know if this was a true sacrifice or not. And yeah, this is the one animated movie where they actually made it seem like she died. Because honestly, I was really not expecting this. This is a graphic novel after all. It can go in any direction. And you know what? It was nice. And the movie capped it off with, Nimona's not dead. And it was a really funny gag at the end. And it was just... I knew I was going to like this movie, but it just exceeded all my expectations. It really did. And I'm really happy for that now Nimona is out. It really got to see the light of day. And people get to see this amazing movie, and it's doing great. It's #1 for kids on Netflix, and I think it's in the top 5 for just Netflix overall. I'm really glad this movie's doing really well. And I'm glad Blue Sky was finally able to finish this, and Annapurna Pictures was able to pick this up, finish the film, and we have the film we see today. I'm really glad this film really happened. So, what did you guys think? What did you guys think of Nimona? What did you guys dislike? What did you guys like? I really liked the film. It was really good. I'm really happy Blue Sky was able to close off all these films with this movie. And, yeah, let me know down in the comments. And, yeah, I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, everyone. Alright, one end card before this video ends. I just want to give a huge thanks to Carrietootired for coming on for this video for Nimona. I really appreciate that, and be sure to go check out her channel. Please, please, please. That channel was super underrated, and it has some high-quality content on there, so please go check her out. And yeah, thank you guys so much again for also 15,000 subscribers. We just crossed that mark, I think, a few days ago, and wow, I'm just in shock, guys. Now we're on the road to 20,000. I really appreciate all of you, and thank you. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.